Councilor Alanna Mallon. Thanks again. Allana is an incumbent councilor. She is the only candidate, I believe, we have who actually lives in mid-Cambridge. She is running, she says on her website, because she's concerned about the everyday quality of life for all of our residents. She's been an anti-poverty advocate and works at Food for Free. So Allana, thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you, John.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
I do want to say I think Jeevan Sabrina Wheeler lives in mid-Cambridge as well. Councilor Sabrina Wheeler.
Well, according to his website, he's moved to Cambridgeport, so he did live in mid-Cambridge.
And I am the only one.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but we'll check. We'll check. He did. Yes. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, yeah. You have been endorsed by ABC that wants to build. His platform is to provide enough housing for everybody who wants to live in Cambridge to do so. Now that if we were going to build that much housing, we're going to have to build a lot. I think you realize that. You know that mid-Cambridge is pretty densely inhabited, and it hasn't been growing recently. And one of the reasons that we've had control of development and that it is a quality of life is that we have a conservation district commission here. There's a proposal to change the authorities of the conservation district commission to take away its ability to regulate infill. That was one of the levers that allowed neighbors on my street, Fayette Street, to downsize a backyard development just this last month. What is your view on the powers of the Conservation District Commission? Are they about right, or should they be re-examined or scaled back? Or
well, thank you, John, and thank you to everybody at the team at the Mid-Cambridge Neighborhood Association for having me here this evening. My name is Allana Mallon. I'm running for re-election to the Cambridge City Council. I'm serving my second term, and I'm currently the vice mayor. I've lived here in Mid-Cambridge for the past 17 years with my family. My two children both attend the Cambridge Public Schools. One's at Ringen Latin and the other is at the Vassal Lane Upper School. So to answer your question about neighborhood conservation districts, I think it is very important that we look at how they are, the way that they come to be. Right now, you only need 10 signatures on a petition. And I think looking at the ways in which a neighborhood conservation district a study can come forward needs to be looked at. The proponents of the petition are saying maybe it's 100 signatures, maybe it's 30 signatures. And then also, that the study period would be non-binding. Right now, there is a neighborhood conservation district study happening in East Cambridge that has been happening for 2 years because of COVID, over 2 years. And in that time, that conservation district rules from the Harvard Square Neighborhood Conservation District are in place. And it is difficult to be living in East Cambridge right now, living as if you're in a neighborhood conservation district while the study is happening. There are also some proposed rules changes to how it will operate in the future. And I think we should be looking at those, yes.
Well, of course, Mid-Cambridge already has a conservation district in place.
I'm aware.
So,
I'm aware. I live here.
It's those rules. I mean, are you concerned about that the commission has the authority to scale back infill projects? Because the proposal is to get rid of that. The proposal is to get rid of that authority. So have you thought about that?
So I've definitely thought about it, and trust me that I know that we live in a neighborhood conservation district because I have done work to my house and have been at the historical commission many times looking for new gutters and window replacements. So I do think, like I said, we need to be looking at both the ways in which they are formed and the way that they operate to update them and bring them into the 21st century. The largest proponent of the NCDs when they were put into place, David Sullivan, when he was on the city council, is in favor of some of these changes. And I think, we just like we're looking at our charter, we need to be looking at our neighborhood conservation districts and the way that they operate, and make sure that they are operating as intended.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. What is your view about how the city should work with neighborhood associations? One of the concerns we have as a neighborhood association is that it's interesting. We note that we get notices of curb cuts from the city, and they get it. We're formally asked to do that. The council typically doesn't vote until they know that the neighborhood association is held back. But we got the cycling safety ordinance without any consultation or notice to the neighborhood association. Doesn't it seem a little out of proportion that here we have a major change to our streetscape without notice and opportunity for input? Or do you think that there's still time for that?
Well, so the cycling safety ordinance amendment that was passed, excuse me, last year, that will add 26 miles of protected biker infrastructure across Cambridge. It was properly noticed. We did have many meetings about it. I understand that there is a lot of anxiety in the community about what's coming, especially knowing that the Mass Ave 4 section is being under design review right now. And Broadway is part of the cycling safety ordinance in the timeline. The way that the community meetings will happen is once we get to the Broadway section, there will be community meetings around the design. Just like we had on Mass Ave from Putnam Avenue to City Hall, there were 2 community meetings. The first was a design presentation that they took community feedback, especially from the restaurants, the small business owners, and the residents, and were able to pinpoint and really refine that design so that it allowed for loading zones, that it moved metered parking spaces around the corner, that we moved the bike lanes outside of the patios, so we get to keep our outdoor dining at the Plow and Stars, at Mass Ave Diner, and at Pammy's. There was a tremendous amount of work that was done by the DPW and our traffic and parking team to accommodate a lot of the changes that the residents actually asked for on Mass Ave, and I look forward to that type of process when we get to Broadway. It's not anytime soon, but I look forward to having that protected bike infrastructure on Broadway as well as Mass Ave.
Do you see a need for input from the neighborhood association?
Absolutely, and the neighborhood association will be invited to those meetings and have as much of a say as any other resident or small business owner along Broadway. Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that. I think we're out of time now, but thank you very much. I enjoyed talking with you. Thank you for coming to our forum.
Well, thank you.